Itagat ko kenyitab Kalenjin ketestai ak tetutiet nebo Kass Mashinani ole kitokyinigei county nebo Kericho ole nyolu kekimit ak kekanapta kokwotinwek oret agenge nebo keborye yautik chekiboisie lagok eng ortinwek chemanyolu anan child labor nito kosubkei ak kibagengeit nebo Kimologit Women in Coffee kobun komasta nebo Kipkelion West eng county noto nebo Kericho neboisie ak kibagengeitab Fair Chan Foundation eng tetutik chebo ribetab imandab lagok kinyoru Robert Siele nekaimuch korutochi komasata bo Kipkelion West akoibwe report neisubi.
Kong'ololjin siriikab logoiwek kasarta nekalumda project nebo kakimitet ak kanabtaetab chepyosok ak kanetisiet en komasta nebo Leldet en Kipkelion West en county nebo Kericho komwa nebo ng'echeret en Kimologit Women in Coffee Kwiko Antuwei kole noton ko boroindo nekinete ak keborien boisietab lagok en mbarenik nenaat kou child labor.
So kemoche kinet chepyosochu konai akobo child labor kele manyolu kobois lakwet en mbar neming'in saisiek chechang. Kokinetech kele nyolu lakwet neming'in netinye 5 years akoi kenyisiek 12 kowendi for 2 hours koyai kasit en mbar saisiek 2 asikokimit kityo kowekab bortanyin. Ko mi lagok chechang chekokenyoru chekokenai kele mobendi sukul amu en ng'alekab mara ko tuguk cherortokotin en gaa. So ko echek chepyosok chebo Kimologit Women in Coffee ko kokimong'ugei asikobit keyai campaign nebo child labor matite kong'et lagok en gaa ako kemwa kele acha matkobur lagok en gaa akoba lagok sukul. So kimokyinigei koba lagok tugul sukul en betusiek tugul chenyolu lakwet komi sukul. Ko betusiek alak betusiek chebo weekend kemi ak lagok ak kikochi kasisiek chemengechen cheyomegei ak icheket.
Kosubkei ak nebo ng'echeret koboisie chepyosochoton ak kibagengeit nenaat kou Fair Chan Foundation kobun emetab Netherlands ole kotoi project nebo kolsetab minutik cheterter ak baetab ngokenik en Leldet en Kimologit asikokimit chepyosok akoborien yautik cheu choton.
Ak keboiboenjini project notok nekokenyoru ak kindei kimnotet yotok kele kiyoe boisioni kimnotet asikobit kotokotestai ak kitekenyoru donors alak cheimuchi kotoretech siketoreten community. Ngandan makimuchi ketar tabusiek chemi emet tugul kemoche kotutigin tabusiek chotok. Kondabitu biik alak kora chemoche koik well wishers ketoche kobwa this group ak kobwa en kimnotet asikesupporten.
Kosubkei ak ofisiat kobun kibagengeit netinye kakirindaetab boisietab lagok anan child labor en emetab Netherlands Sylvester Potman kobo kamanut kikimit chepyosok ak kokwotinwek asikorib ak yametabgei nebo lagok. Ng'alalet nekarob eun ofisiat neteleljin tetutyonoton en emoni kobun emetab Netherlands.
Because this model farm is basically established to help the women have enough seedlings for the farms, and the farms should become more profitable, and with the extra resources kids don't have to work anymore and can go to school. That's the idea behind it.
And the people on the farm will be decisive on how successful this project will be, because everyone that will be part of this program, everyone that will be part of this project will be first 150 women to start with, but we will, it's just a start. So the goal is to make everyone TOTs, meaning training of trainers, that everyone will go back home to the village, to the shambas, and show new types of farming, new innovative way of doing cash crops in a sustainable and an organic manner.
En komastanyin komwa coordinator nebo kibagengenoton nebo Kipkelion Women in Coffee Kwiko Henry Sang kole ikochin noton kamuget biikab emet konyor keswek chenin akoborien bananda akokimitkei icheket.
Kochop keswek chebo maragonik, chebo kawek, chebo chelolo chon kuren gooseberries asikobit kochop keswek chutet asikobit kobokokol en mbarenikwak ak kwaldechin alak en biikab community asikobit kenyorun keswek chenin chekimuchi keproduce anan kenyorun rurutik chemi barak akobit kotoretok bichu en ng'alekab amitwogik ak ng'alekab chepkondok.
Kong'eten Leldet en Kimologit Kipkelion West County nebo Kericho, logoiwekab emet chebo Kass, kainenyun ko Robert Siele.
Kakotyakta kerichek chebo alyetab silingishek million 35 gavana nebo Bomet County Professor Hilary Barchok che tetat keleta koityi sipitalishek tugul chebo county noto bo Bomet kosubkei ak gavana nekong'ololi eng kiwanjetab Bomet Green Stadium nemitei eng taonitab Bomet komakenyi kokonyor biikab Bomet toretet nebo konyoiset eng kasarta nemakchinigei. Eng kasarata komwa ine kole bo lembech ng'alek chekokotestai kemwaitae serikalinyi kele kiyachekitu kerichek chebo alyetab silingishek milionishek 35 eng sipitalitab Longisa.
Inoni ko betut nebo maana en echek en kasit nekitindoi en tainyon. Kasini ko makimwoe kele kasit neter ak kasit netam keyoe kila, akityoktoi kerichek chebendi sipitalishek kyok. Ngemwa kele sipitali ko kakinamen dispensary akoi referral hospital noton ko Longisa. So kibendi sub counties tugul kong'eten betutab raini ne ayani ale ngoite lang'at komami dispensary anan ko health center anan ko sub county hospital anan ko referral hospital nemwawech kole manyor kerichek. So kerichek chemiten tainyon en lorishek chemi ng'anan tomo koit lorit agenge kobo milionishek 35. So kerichek chematutugin ak kemoche kemwa kongoi en kasit nekiyoe, amwachini kongoi assembly amu kikonech budget ak amoche amwochi kongoi partners chechoget KEMSA chekikotoretech en kasarta age tugul. Ne ngandan kitindoi deni komao missing, amoche amwa ale kimiten en kitabushek chon kimwoe kele kitabushek chekororon ak KEMSA. Ak kemoche kemwochin icheket kora kelenji en deni nemi kidogo amun anan kochelewan rabinik kobwa, kemoche kemwa kongoi amun muitewech ak kemoche kemwochin kele kiliponi kot kikeste. Nibuch kiboiboi ak amoche asom en betutab raini committees chebo sipitalishek kyok en komosta age tugul en 5 sub counties chekitindoi kochobok asikobit kotai kerichek. Kisome kora meng'ik chemengindos ak komalo en sipitali sikoik agenge en biik chenyokobaorioni kora ketai kerichek en sipitalishek kyok. Sikoron komait kiplembechwa nemwoe kole mamiten kerichek anan manyor dispensary fulani kerichek anan kokikonech katonishek chemamiten kerichek. Yotai kora kerichechu amoche oker kora tarikishek chebo kerichek choton kikichobou ako imuche kotebi akoi kenyisiek ata anan arawek ata sikoit komait kora kiplembecha nemwoe kole kikonu kerichek chekikosir kasarwek. So noton neamoche amwowok ak kiboiboi amun kiboisiei tugul kibagenge. So oribwech kerichechu chekakoit facilities chekwok oker ole korib. Orib ko wananchi nan kerib ak echek en komostanyon, lakini makimuche kemi komosta age tugul en saisiek tugul. Lakini chito nemuche korib ko meng'indetab yoton ngwo chito sipitali akor konyone koibu katonit kemoche kora kenai kele mi ne orit nebo katonit nebo ngoroik anan katonit nekakeiben kerichek. So ongerib nibuch ayani ale kitindoi biik chemiachen cheboisiewech en sipitalishek kyok ak ayani ale kerichechu kakeibu kobendi wananchi, mabendi mabuketab chi en ng'alekab mung'aret. Ko noton nekemoche kesom. Nibuch kiboiboi amun kakityakte kerichechu en betutab raini. So mamache akas en koron kele mami kerichek sipitali. Asante. Ui kemwa kele lasteni kasarta netyan lakini at least every quarter ko kekere kele kakiibu kerichek ko yan kakomwa MCA nenyon, lakini tiengei kora amun ndabitu outbreak anan kobit anan sait age anan ko en malaria en komoswek alak kochokto kerichek. Sait age kora kokonech Jehova chametabgei komachokto. So ui kemwa amun kit nemelelen kipimonjin kele kiboisien chetyan en betut, tiengei kora mionwogik chekabit. So ko ndachokto amun kait tirtiriet nekomi koyoche kora keker kele kilyonen kot keibu kerichek kora kinyiten ele kakorarta. So nibuch ine ko kerichechu ko makimwoe kele cheletunen en inguni, kitaketindoi rabinik tutigin yekitar deni nebo KEMSA kemoche keker kele mi kerichek sipitalishek kyok en kasarta age tugul. Nibuch kiboiboi. Nibuch every quarter ko lazima komi kerichek chekakisupply every quarter ak keyome kora kebalancen ele anan kobit outbreak chebo malaria for example. Ko ngot komi kerichek tegat ako mamiten olimbo ndanai koyoche keibun chemiten tegat koba ndanai ele kabitunen miondo. So ko noton nekemoche kemwa. Nibuch kemoche keker kele mi kerichek kila en facilities chechoget.
Komiten ng'alalet nekemwoe kele miten kerichek chekiyachekitun anan chekiexpiren en Longisa. Tos iman niton akot koman ko tos koibe ne kokwounet kowo sipitali asoker ole makiten.
Ngalekab report nebo Auditor General is a public document. Ak amache asom sirik kyok chebo logoiwek asi kocher copy nebo Auditor General's report nebo 2023, I think 2023-2024. Ya akosoman ele kikiripotendo ngalechoton. Kingeba store kemwoe kele kakinyor equipment ak stock ne worth 35 million. Ako mi 85 units chebo undetermined value chebo kerichek che kemwoe kele kiyakosir tarikishek. So ko kaamwoe enta ole en sipitalishek kyok ketindoi equipment che kikosir technology amun walakse kila ngalekab musoknotet. So ko yon makoboisie mashinit kindo taban kot kisib ngatutiet namba procurement ak kedisposen anan keita kit age. So ketindoi che kikitaban chemiten store inyon. So kongalal chito komwa kole mi kerichekab 35 million che expired. Amache oker kerichechu takoni narorit agenge. Kerichechu kobo 35 million. So ngot ko 35 million makinya chi kot kowecho kerichek cheten chu mi yu ako sait age kemwoe kele mami kerichek sipitali. So ko kemwowon ne? I-accusenon ile mami kerichek sipitali. At the same time kombi kerichek che kakitwe sipitali mongololchintos ngalechon oengu. So ni amache amwochi biik kyok alenji eng makilelen anan kosir tarikit en agenge anan ko oeng. Lakini kerichek chebo 35 million kwatia. So that includes equipment che kikoik obsolete. Che amache akochi CEO komwoe kole equipment achon kuro CEO nega. Wana Felgip. Ai suru. Mara kako banga lorishek en ireyu. So ako amache asom asikobit kerutechin sipitali nyon abaketweren akoborwon akicheng media kole miono kerichek chebo 35 million ak keker kora report nebo Auditor General nekikisirta report inoton. Mamache kesoman ak kinde ngalek chemomiten. So mwawech ngalekab 35 million expired drugs.
And thank you very much, Your Excellency. Kikuron Felix Langat, Chief Officer nebo Health Services. Your Excellency, korong ko kinete manage ot komwa 35 million ko the 35 million na kokimwa Your Excellency ko biik chetam komwoe kora kole mamiten kerichek. So ile mi confusion korong no ko the same person netam kolele mami kerichek ko the same person kora nelele ko expire chebo 35 million. However, in auditor's report Your Excellency ele kikisirta ko kisir Auditor General kingobwone entry meeting damun kobwone entry meeting biikab chebo audit konyokere the value nebo stock nekitinye. So at the time kingoreporteni for their audit ko kiyai value nebo stock chekikoron chekikiboisien chekikidispenseni to patients and the worth of kerichek choton ko ki 35 million. Akosir en yon kole however kongoyoe stock ko kinyor lenses munao lenses 85 ko Your Excellency ko yon kemwa ko kiko advance technologies so that inyoru and lenses chekiboisien en yukinya ko with the advancement of technology ko mochoton chekiboisien en nguni. So with those 85 lenses chekinyor and the facility ko kiyan initiate them process nebo kedisposen which by initiating the process ko ki-informen biikab farms and poisons board asi ko guiden echek ngalekab process nebo kiakwaren and the court order asinyokeyai the final process nebo kedisposen. So that process was already ongoing and kimakoui kebakelakten kityo. Bagini ndamun echek ko kisibi ngatutik as it is ko kiyai ki-sticken to ngatutik choton so that we are able to account for commodities chekakinyoru en health, we are able to account for the resources Your Excellency chekikonech kobwa department for the good of the people because at the end of the day ko kit nekimoche en ko accountability ak transparency. Your Excellency sikeyai event ni en kiwanja ro we in presence of bigger media in presence of everyone okage instructed committees chebo facilities koba facilities en iro kora ketinye hospital administrators chebo facilities ko one of the things ko ke make sure kele we are transparent, we are open and we can account for resources che kokikone keboisien ak keboisien komie for the benefit nebo mwananchi. Otherwise Your Excellency ko kerichek ko kerichek o ki prescribe nun kityo yon kemyan ko yon mian ko maki prescribe nun. So sait age ko alaliban makilele liskele terok yo kebishere yo kilele mi amitwogik che kokoketen robwalir okur kichala ke kochuruktaen kerichek ko it's only yon upon prescription. However, with even stock about 35 million, Your Excellency, consumption, our facilities good, Your Excellency, go longest, go full, mamiten space in inpatient. Male ward, natam called in week 32. Go today in the morning, go get in week 42. So this also speaks to the consumption of commodities in our facilities, and it speaks to the strain kora nemara eventually genyoru engalega budget. And we are very happy that Amunian technology negoginde. Your Excellency, keriche chuko yongemwa ko kangeten Kemsa anyoke confirm ngityo kendro lakini teto akoi facility. Delivery note neibote karini nemakikochin note account the pharmacist. Ko delivery noton ko kongeten dereva nekobwen Kemsa kokochin in charge nebo facility. That delivery note. Akoi dispensary. Konam delivery note in charge nebo dispensary ak committee. Ako ba through koger kole chemi katonit ko choton ako kippen that delivery note. So that tungemake accountant ko it's not even level nebo waziri alan ko myself lakini accountability ko no mean the facility in charge. Or they have very clear instructions. Apart from that delivery note, go in the register nebo patients negire either go outpatient under 5 alan over 5. Ko sire kainetab mgonjwa, ko sir diagnosis nebo the patient, ako sir prescription. Kole kakikoi mgonjwa for example amoxicillin. Ko masire iti kole amoxicillin. Sire kora kole kokoi amoxicillin quantity kotia. So that at the end of the day, imuche beger chekikabwa en delivery note, inam register iger chekikikoito, and you should be able to account for every unit nebo kerichek chekai the facility. So we are we are focused keger kele we are very open, we are very transparent, and we can account for the resources ndamun under your leadership, Your Excellency, nebo accountability and transparency, kemoche keger kele biikab Bomet ko kanyor benefit for their resources. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kayai tuyet President William Ruto ak kandoik chekokelewen kondochi tetutik chebo cheng'etab kalyet en kong'asis nebo emetab Democratic Republic of Congo DRC. Kayai tuyonoto en oretab muswoknotet anan virtual meeting ole kayomis Ruto kandoichoto kole bendi konyoru toretet nemokyinigei kobun emotinwek tugul chemitei en kibagengeisiek chebo East African Community anan EAC ak Southern Africa Development Communication SADC Development Community SADC. Alak en kandoik cheindochin tetutik choto ko neki president nebo Kenya Uhuru Kenyatta ak neki president nebo emetab Nigeria Olusegun Obasanjo en kwenutab kandoik alak cheterter chekomitei en tuyonoto bo virtual meeting.
Conflict in the eastern DRC has cast a very long shadow over the region for a long time, inflicting untold suffering on innocent citizens. At the joint EAC summit held in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania on the 8th of February 2025, we confronted this issue head-on. Among the key outcomes was the decision to merge the Luanda and Nairobi processes and appoint this distinguished team of facilitators, a vital step now beginning to bear fruit. I know we will be having a conversation as to how this is going to move forward, especially in the context that the facilitator of the Luanda process will not be part of the facilitating team. And that is a subject for us to have a conversation about, and we will have a conversation on how we will go about this. In the past 6 months, Your Excellencies, we have witnessed a very dangerous escalation. The M23 movement has seized vast territories in North and South Kivu, including the cities of Goma and Bukavu, including raising serious obstacles on humanitarian access that have been severely hampered as warring factions adopt increasingly hardline positions. More than 3,000 lives have been lost, with thousands more wounded or displaced. These grim figures are not just statistics. They are human tragedies, and they demand urgent redress from all of us. This crisis underscores a painful truth that we must craft homegrown solutions grounded in regional leadership and driven by African agency. I therefore commend you once again for accepting this formidable responsibility with courage and conviction. As facilitators, your mandate is critical, and the EAC, SADC, and AU, Africa Union, look to you to do, among many, primarily maybe three things: identify the core issues fueling this conflict and chart a path to sustainable resolution. 2, to explore options and guide voluntary agreements that restore hope and rebuild trust. And 3, explore options and identify the core issues, engage the parties in Eastern DRC, and break down barriers to communication. Excellencies, we will refine this mandate, taking into context your experiences as senior leaders in our continent, and we will continuously work with you to make sure that this responsibility and this task is discharged. Rest assured that we stand firmly beside you, and we will do whatever it takes to support your mission and to sustain this journey towards peace.
Yakatestai ak logoiwekab emet chitab Kalenjin ketokyinigei komosta nebo Kapsoit eng county nebo Kericho ole yatetat konyor kelchin kobotik chemengechen cheribe tugab chego cheoldojin ichekwai kibagengeitab bandab tai nebo Mosop Dairy Cooperative Society eng komosta nebo Kapsoit eng county nebo Kericho kobun pikipikishek oeng chebo kasari cheyatetat koyum chego eng kokwatinwek cheterter chemitei wardinoto bo Kapsoit. Pikipikishek choto kotoretet kobun MCA nebo komosatab Paul Chirchir Tarimbo.
Pikipikishechu oeng koyaen kasit nekararan koberur wakulima ak amoche aker ale kabosak cost of transport kotesak iya mkulima. So amache kinamen nombo buinet sikebosen buinet ak ukta moita kinde kuno nebo AI nemi barak ko karon keiye moita ngomure moitab somok kawektetab kitunguri. Kosir iwe kitunguri ibeke tutetab 200 konyo kosindan namun kotomo inai ialde na mialde 50 ko kakime kebe pole pole kotargei kitunguri unota ngoshinata kama mwa kila ande ndewe kitunguri rai kwa mbaret ko pointishek somok lakini mungu kalalitab chego en koi komong en koi eche kenye katatu eka mbili eka ine ako mungu kalalitab chego en koi tugul so anye mpango noto lole enda idubendi ebe sikengeti asiketoret wakulima. Nebo somok ko kikabwa boishechu yekeyai tuyet en gaa. Dodi chairman, Sige, vice chairman, Wilson ak timit tugul. Oye kemwoun kole ndoka kinyoru boda kesor chego en soboli. Ale amache akane nusu lita non kisoren kityega ngweny. Amache nusu lita en Koisaka, ama nusu lita en Chebobet, nusu lita en Chepteli, nusu lita en Oli, amu chito nekotindoi nusu lita ko mamuche konyo kopiman en Kapsoit aketar oret. Kemoe kiyome nusu lita chechang ak litait agenge kotakar kinyit kalanishek. So pikipikichu ko ni pikipiki ya kisasa.
Eng logoiwek alak chekisubi chitab Kalenjin ketokyinigei bunge nebo National Assembly ole tesetai eng nguni MPs kong'olole motion netokyinigei ketoret ake kanapta kampunishek choto chechobe mbolea anan fertilizer eng emetab Kenya eng tokyinetab koker kole kakitoret kabatik konyor katoldoleiwek eng oret nebo nyumnyumindo ak eng olyet nemitei ng'ony mising ko eng kasarwek choto chebo kolset. Kitokyinigei nguno bunge noto bo National Assembly eng oretab agenge asikeipchi it ng'alalutik chetesetai eng nguni.
Do their best and come out as great leaders just like they are in this house. Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, I want to make my contribution to supporting and promoting local fertilizer manufacturing industry. But before I do supporting and promoting local fertilizer manufacturing industry, but before I do that, I want to tell the Honorable Caleb Amisi, the member from one of the Trans Nzoia constituencies. Caleb Amisi, you know, he's still held up in the 19th century politics of Marxism, of mercantilism, and that almost 18th, 19th century stuff. I see a lot of his writings on Twitter and all that, but I see his mind is actually fixated there. And I want to tell him that did not help the world. Russia collapsed. Yugoslavia collapsed because of these same principles that he's trying to say Kenya must adopt to move forward in development. We are in a new era of thinking and ideologies in this world. Capitalism has still remained as the principal anchor of development in the world. Capitalism still is the anchor for money making in the world and to equalize nations. Socialism and Marxism and all those kind of things that were there, and fascism that were there during the 18th, 19th century have been bypassed and nations have collapsed. This country, Caleb Amisi, will move on a trajectory of developmental issues that are anchored properly in agriculture. The agrarian revolution still persists. We must invest in agriculture.
The Honorable Caleb Amisi, you have a point of order? Normally the best would be to put an intervention instead of raising your hand, but I give you the chance.
Yeah, I was struggling to put it, but I think it's now working. Madam Speaker, I think with due respect to my colleague and the leader of this House, is that he has diverted from the motion. The motion was not discussing Caleb Amisi's ideology. The motion was discussing fertilizer. I will bring here another motion that will discuss Caleb Amisi's ideology, and the honorable member will have enough time to contribute. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Order now. You believe that he is irrelevant?
He is irrelevant and is continuously mentioning my name and attaching some ideologies that I don't follow towards my name. And it's not even, he has not brought a substantive motion to discuss my name.
Before you respond, I keenly followed what the Honorable Bayer said. I believe that he was just reacting to what you had said, which is allowed in the House. It's a house of debate. I did not see him being irrelevant, so there is nothing out of order.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I want to say this. This country, Kenya, already has factories that manufacture fertilizer, and that is a fact. If you look at what we have in the country, the question that we have is the fertilizer being manufactured in this country enough? It is not enough. So how do we fill in the gap? We can only fill in the gap if we get other investors to come and invest in the country to have more fertilizer plants, to manufacture more fertilizer, so that our farmers can have enough fertilizer for their farms. On the upshot of that, Honorable Speaker, if we have more fertilizer manufactured in the country, we reduce our foreign exchange, the use of our foreign exchange to import fertilizer. Importation has been one of the problems that has caused us the imbalance of trade between this country and other countries. We continue to import even things that we must not import. What I want to see is more investors, and I want to ask the people of Trans Nzoia to demand from their MP that he invites more investors in Trans Nzoia to set up fertilizer manufacturing plants there so that the farmers can get cheaper fertilizer. Honorable Speaker, regions that would have given us very big output.
Majority Whip, you seem to be attracting a lot of points of order. You have another point of order from the member for Funyula.
Save my time. Honorable Speaker, I think my good friend is just going on, is just diverting the attention. Honestly speaking, it's not the business. It cannot be the sole business of Honorable Amisi to go scouting for investors to come and invest in Trans Nzoia in a fertilizer manufacturing plant. It's on record that the current president has globetrotted this world for the last 3 to 4 years, and yet nothing, even a single fertilizer factory has been set up. I think just restrict yourself to the debate.
What exactly is out of order?
I know it's
Member
political out of order to incite the members of public against Honorable Hamisi for no apparent reason.
And you have made your point. As far as I'm concerned, Honorable Bayer, just try to focus to the subject matter, because now I'm forced to also defend the Honorable Hamisi. And also, in the interest of time, I see about 6 people would like to speak. Honorable members, we did not agree on reducing time, so you still have 10 minutes. But if all of you would like to speak, you may choose to speak for 4 to 5 minutes, so that most of you can be covered.
I'll restrict myself to 5 minutes, Honorable Speaker, so that I can save time. But I also want to say this, Honorable Speaker. You see, investors coming into this country to invest, one, they bring in foreign direct investment into the country. Foreign direct investment helps this country to grow its GDP. Again, when investments are made here, productivity goes up. When the productivity of the country goes up, then, of course, we become a more food secure country. And I want to urge leaders, even as they point out mistakes of this ministry is not doing this is not doing this, also to look at it as they're also leaders. When you say you must start at the top for many things, you are at the top in the county. There's somebody at the top of the county. There's somebody at the top of the constituency. It takes all of us to hold hands together to ensure that we move this country forward. And a leader at the top uses others to influence change. Change cannot be influenced if other leaders are not joining hands to try to influence. We must bring change in the area of manufacture of fertilizer in this country. We must bring change in the areas of agriculture in this country to ensure we are food secure as a country. And this motion by the Honorable Samatande is at its best placed that we discuss it at this time when the rains are here. The rains are here, farmers are looking for fertilizer, but the scarcity of fertilizer, not that there is not enough, there is fertilizer in the country. Not enough, of course. But we can do better as a country when we ensure that we have more investors coming in to invest in the area of fertilizer. Seeds, for example, Honorable Speaker, my constituency and where I come from, everybody's saying, we want seeds. We want planting material. We want things that can help us grow food. The people in this country are not lazy. They are industrious people who know if they grow food, they'll become food secure, they'll become food sufficient, and poverty will leave their homes. But then, as leaders, are we doing to ensure that we give them planting materials to ensure that we have more food? So I want to support you, my brother, Samatandi, for the good thoughts, because this is thinking good for a country. This is good thoughts for a country, that we actually must manufacture more fertilizer in the country, Honorable Speaker. And we have bumper harvest. The prices of goods come down. Inflation comes down. When inflation comes down, there's less expenditure, and therefore, when we have inflation that is down, there's more savings in the families and more disposable income for families, and therefore they are able to pay school fees for their children and do development for themselves. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to urge everybody that is able to ensure that we have this, even members of parliament here. There are other members of parliament like Samatandi who has enough disposable income to set up a small fertilizer factory in his village. The Millie here, I know she can set up another small factory for fertilizer, make some money out of it, but also help the farmers. Professor Undo there, he's a good professor, he's worked for many years, he has enough money to invest into a small fertilizer. And even Geleche. If everybody goes the cottage industry way and sets up a small fertilizer factory in their constituency, we'll bring down the cost of food production. And even the Honorable Speaker, I know the people of Mutomo, want a small fertilizer factory and you have some money, set up a small fertilizer factory there so that you can bring down. I can see Millie is smiling because she's thinking about setting one tomorrow because she has one. But if everybody does that, if everybody invests in agriculture, we make this country a better country, making it food sufficient, and agricultural produce actually transit to manufacturing. Because if you have if you have enough milk, you can set up a small milk production center. And when we have industries being set and manufacturing being set, we solve the problem of joblessness and we solve the problem of poverty in this country. And therefore, I want to urge anybody who has money somewhere, instead of going to do other things, set up factories for fertilizer, for better seeds, and better planting materials so that we increase our output in agriculture in this country. And that way we make Kenya a better country. I thank you, and I want to support my brother Samatani on this motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I would like to give a chance to the member for Turkana North. I'm very sorry, I didn't know that you're in the House. The Honorable Ekon Naibun.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this chance to put my voice on this motion by Honorable Atandi. Madam Speaker, growing up in the northern Kenya, those early years when we were in school, we were being told this country, agriculture is the backbone of the economy. That narrative has continued to date. Madam Speaker, it's surprising that we are told manufacturing is focus of subsequent governments for a while now. But when you look at what the government is doing to set up manufacturing institutions, whether it is medicine, whether it is
Chatajitab Kalenjin ko ngalalutik chetesetai eng bunge nebo National Assembly ole ngalale MPs motion netokyinigei ketoret eng kanabtaetab kampunishek choto chechobe mbolea eng emetab Kenya sikobit kotoret kabatik koityi magutik kwai choto chebo kabatisiet. Ko tesetai tetutiet nebo Kass Mashinani kobate eng inguni amache kewektegei agoi county nebo Meru asike kenyor kit netesetai eng betutab aeng nebo rutoitab President William Ruto eng komasta noton nebo Central Kenya ole kojut betutab aeng rutoitonyi eng betutab rani yekangotaune county noton nebo Meru ole kakomuch kolumda boisionik cheterter ak eng inguni komiten komasta noton nebo Athwana eng Tegania West eng county nebo Meru ole kakotar kokoitoi title deed eng meng'ikab komoswek choto ole botokei ak kandoik cheterter eng rutoitonyi noton nebo Meru cheboto Deputy President noton ko Professor Kithure Kindiki eng kwenutab kandoik alak cheterter cheboto Cabinet Secretaries, Governors, Senators, MPs koboto MCS ole rutoito noton nebo President William Ruto eng komasta nebo Central Kenya ko kayai kityo rutoito arawek lo kong'ete ngeisto eng boisiet nekirubeiwonyi Rigathi Gachagua keboisie oret noton nebo impeachment ole eng betutab ain Jumatatu kokomwa President William Ruto kole kikiisto Rigathi Gachagua kosubkei ak nekimokoititotin boisionik chi mising ko ole kimwa Ruto kole kikoito kamuiset neo mising Gachagua eng kiboitinikab serikali ole komwa kora kole kiimu inendet kole moche kelipan rabinik silingishek bilionishek 10 asikomuch koboisie eng tetutik choto chebo polotet. Ko agere tomo kochobok pichaitab President William Ruto kobate eng inguni kebendi komung'et yekiwege konyiketesetai ak logoiwekab emet ko eng komalo keweksei arametwagei. Ko yekamwaun chitab Kalenjin ko kakiwang'u tetutioni yemalo keweksei ak logoiwekab emet.